Call this General Services meeting today, October the 22nd, 2018 at 12 noon. And we've got three items. First one is declaration of surplus of unused IT equipment. Coeur.
Good afternoon. This is just a run-of-the-mill surplus list that we are trying to free up some space, some storage space, so we can start storing other things. But these are just old computers that have moved past their useful life. And so what we usually do is try and take them down to computers for kids or work with someone that way to where they can refurbish whatever they can. And then the rest of it just usually goes to the recyclers at that point.
I only have one question. Mm-hmm. What's purgatory?
So we maintain our list, so our active hardware stays as a status of active in our inventory software. We're ultimately trying to progress it towards the surplus status, but there's always the one out in between. It's in limbo. We're not actually using it anymore, and so we're being funny and called it purgatory.
I thought that was hilarious because I'm looking at all these nerdy numbers and brand names and part numbers, and all of a sudden status purgatory. It's clever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion that council declare various unused IT items as surplus and authorize staff to begin the disposal process as requested.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item number 2. Thanks, sir. Item number 2, approval of lease agreement with Coeur Parasail and Water Sports LLC for use of bays 4 and 9 on the commercial dock. Bill Greenwood.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This is pretty standard. The only reason this is before you today is that there's a bit of change in the DBA. Normally what would happen, you wouldn't even see this, they would send us a letter, we would do a renewal for that duration. But Ben Sr. and his wife Ruthie are retiring, and their kids, not kids, they're young men with families, have been running the Parasail and Water Sports business for a time. They're on the DBA, and they're part of the corporation. Just Ruth and Ben want to be removed. So other than that, there's really no changes other than the updates to the extensions with those increases of percentages.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. How often does this thing go out to bid? It says like 19 years that we've been doing it. I don't have an issue with them at all. It's just a curious question.
Right. Well, it's set up in a way that all they have to do is send us a letter that they want to continue, and they've done that over the years. And when they choose to finally give up the business, those spaces will become available for something similar, or as we decide, maybe it was something different. But that's the way it's been written, and that's the way it's been going for all these years.
Okay. Now, I spotted something curious in the contract on section 19 is about parking. It said the parties recognize that the city is involved in the process of developing a downtown properties plan that may modify, move, or eliminate some parking. Can you explain what that is?
Well, I think that came about when we had talked about with the Four Corners Master Plan, when there were maybe some changes to that. So I think we left it open in case, in fact, in the future, we may change some of that parking. There was considerations to moving the parking maybe behind where the museum is. There was lots of discussion. So I think we just left our options open is what that was for.
I thought that was done, but you said you think it's coming back, or?
Well, I don't anticipate it, but I never know what to anticipate from time to time. So
okay.
I just think that it was there, and we left it there for, in fact, if we were to change something down there, it's already as a ability for us to do so.
All right, it just made me nervous. That's
okay.
all.
No, I don't, sir. I have no plans to do that.
Okay.
I like the configuration of the parking lot as it is.
Yes, and the public does as well. So thank you.
Need a motion.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the lease agreement with CDA Parasail and Water Sports LLC for bays, for use of bays 4 and 9 on the commercial dock.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Bill. Okay, you got
Go to the next one.
Item number 3, approval of memorandum of understanding with Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation for maintenance of trail and parkway located along East Lakeshore Drive.
So this was a bit of a falling through the cracks when we assumed the responsibility for East Lake Shore up to where our property ends, which is about Silver Beach Marina there. The state has always maintained this recreational area from here at Potlatch, which is called Rutledge Trailhead, all the way out to Higgins Point. When we negotiated the road with Tim's guys taking all over all that, this particular agreement fell through the cracks. And so we're just bringing it to you to have them continue to do that. This last season, our Parks Department took care of it because the state couldn't provide that service on our property without an MOU.
Oh.
And so they were maintaining everything else from Silver Beach on out to Higgins. Our crew was going out and dealing with the grass belt that's there, the restroom facility, and the parking lot. So that's all this does, is just puts it back into their responsibility to maintain it. Now, that being said, there is a little bit of cost, which is different than what he had before. We didn't have the property, so any outlay of capital greater than $300 in this MOU states that we'll take care of that. So we will handle the vault toilet pump out that's taken care of, and if there's any sprinkler issues that are over $300, we'll handle that too. Okay. So they'll do the day-to-day janitorial, mowing, sprinkler repair, that kind of stuff. But if it's over 300, it's on us because we're the owner.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the restroom that's at the, kind of at the top of the hill there?
Yeah, that's the one right at Potlatch
Yeah.
Road. So that's that first one you come to. It's got, it has some grass belt with the exercise equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And how about I've been curious about the water fountains. Are they still there? There was one right by that restroom, and then there was
bubblers?
one down the hill where it would be just a little bit northwest of where the beach house used to be. Do you remember? I don't know if they're
I remember
there.
that. I'll have to look because, we haven't been maintaining it until
Yeah.
just this season, so we jumped in on it. So I'm not certain, but if it's not functioning, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill, yeah, that was my concern, was it was, and you cleared it up for me, thank you, because it looks like, you read it, it says they're going to be maintaining it, but then in the contract it says we're doing over $300.
Correct. So that's in case, for example, if something really bad goes wrong with the irrigation system and it's over that amount, we would step in and help. And in fact, we just did a pump out, and it was about $375 to pump that out for the season.
Okay.
So it's that sort of thing.
Right, because that was my concern, was like, well, why aren't they just maintaining the outhouse there too?
Well, they are. It's just the larger costs is our burden.
And you think, in your financial analysis, you didn't think that it would be, it says repairs over $30, so it should have been $300.
Yeah.
You don't think that is going to impact us beyond what's already been budgeted for the Parks Department?
I think we'll be okay if, in fact, it looks like it's going to be something next in 1920. I'll budget accordingly, but I think we're fine. So we have a line item that we have pump out that we do at Legion Field there at Thorco Field for Legion and at Cherry Hill. So we have some money in that account, and so if we need to supplement that in the future, I'll do so, but I think we'll be fine.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, need a motion?
I'll make a motion that council approve the memorandum of understanding with Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation for maintenance of trail and parkway located along East Lakeshore Drive.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Mike, you got anything?
I got nothing.
Nothing, huh? Okay, we're adjourned.
Enjoy the day. Bill?